Hey guys, this is Norman over with SoundTraxx, and today we're going to take a look at a few of our options for n-scales and how they might be used in various different models you might come across. So let's get started. Alright, so in front of us here we have our three n-scale decoders, as well as several different installations that we have here at the office. So let's just go through these one by one and sort of go through our thought process. So here we actually have a Kato F3. And what we've done here is we've used our TSU-KN1 drop-in decoder, and we've wired up, or we've soldered in our headlight, and we've wired up the included Minikube 3 speaker. Now, if we take a look over here, you can see at this Kato E8, you can see that we've used the same decoder, and we've actually gone and we've soldered up the headlight the same way. But because we have to cut away weight, we actually ended up cutting away a little bit more so that we could fit our Minikube 1 speaker in order to get that louder sound out of it. Speaking of the Minikube speaker, we actually have a Bachmann EM1 over here where we have also used a Minikube speaker in conjunction with our TSU-1100. And the reason we did this is because we're mounting this decoder flat and there's no provision for mounting a decoder, so we had to use double-sided tape. So we went for the TSU-1100 because it's shrink-wrapped, which means that if we ever need to remove this decoder for some reason, we don't have to worry about the double-sided tape pulling a component off of the decoder or anything like that. In the center here, we have the Broadway Limited P5A. And I want to take this opportunity to highlight something about the TSU N18 when used with the JST N18 adapter. Overall, its total height is about the same as the TSU 1100. But that height is only for half of the length. As you can see here, we actually have a section here which is at a much lower height. So if you have a model like this one where you can take advantage of that, in this case I have arranged the model such that the decoder itself is running over the speaker, and then the JST N18 adapter exists in this area where we have a lot more height to work with. So we end up with a much lower overall profile for the decoder. Speaking of the N18, there are also several models which have a Next 18 socket in them from the factory. For instance, this scale trains Tier 4 GEVO here, in which we have just simply plugged the TSU N18 in to the socket of the motherboard right there. And we've actually done a full installation video on this model with the TSU N18 up here. These are not the only options for these decoders, however. Just as an example, our TSU N18 plus JST N18 adapter right here actually has a width of only 9.5 millimeters. And this allows it to fit under the long hood of many n-scale diesels. So if you were to have, let's say, a Kato or an Atlas narrow-body diesel, you could use this setup in that model because it will fit under the long hood. And then the KN1 over here is actually not just for the E units or the F units, it also works with, let's say, Kato's P42 or their PA1. There's a full list of which models this works with on our website. And then, of course, our 1100 universal decoder would also work for, let's say, many brass steam locomotives because of the shrink wrap. So all three of the decoders here in front of us are rated for 1 amps on their motor circuits, which means they should be able to handle just about any motor that you will find in a typical n-scale model. Now, all these decoders also have the same great Tsunami2 features as the rest of our product line, such as dynamic digital exhaust, the flex map function mapping, and our realistic audio. Now, for all of these decoders, we have a 1 watt 8 ohm audio amplifier to reproduce that great audio. Alright, so here we have our TSU 1100, and this is our universal shrink wrap decoder for n-scale. It's available in all of our different sound profiles, including Steam, EMD, GE, Alco, Baldwin, and others, as well as the EMD2 and the electric. It has 4 lighting outputs, so let's say if I were to be taking this EM1 as an example, I could actually add both a firebox light and ashpan light to this model, and this decoder would be able to control them. This is the TSU N18, and this is available in all of the same sound profiles as the TSU 1100, but it actually has 6 different lighting outputs, so you can actually use even more lights in your model. So for instance, with this P5A here, I've actually used it to add a cab lights at both ends, as well as arcing pantograph lights to both pantographs. And if you were to put this in a diesel like this model, you could use those lighting outputs for, let's say, ditch lights or number boards. So this is our TSUKN1, and this is our drop-in decoder for Kato wide-body n-scale diesels. And this comes with the Minikube speaker and 2 LEDs, as well as a couple of accessories just to make your installation that much easier. But this decoder actually has 4 lighting outputs. So let's say if you were to you wanted to add a Mars light to, let's say, an E unit, you could do that because we have the additional lighting outputs on this decoder. Now this decoder actually has a custom sound profile to match the various models available in Kato's library. So we actually have 3 different EMD prime movers, a GE, and an Alco, all loaded onto one decoder. So these are just a few of the various options that you have with our decoders for n-scale installations. But there are many more out there. If you have a question about your specific model, be sure to email us at support@soundtraxx.com. And once you're done with that installation, be sure to check out our user's guide link down below. That's it for this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you get notified the next time we upload great videos like this.